radio advertising spots or shoutouts on Sun FM radio. For more details, call us on +260 961 205 967 or +260 212 615 341. Email marketing@sunfmzambia.net. It's a new dawn of new affordable advertising packages on Zambia's first and finest visual radio, reaching over 5 million people across the whole country. If you're not advertising on Sun FM TV, then you're probably not being heard or seen. Come on board and advertise with us. Everyone's not only listening, everyone is watching.
Sun FM, broadcasting from the Copperbelt capital, Ndola City.
This is your favourite station. The news.
Hello there, with the news here on Sun FM Radio and TV. My name is Imelda Shkwati. Top stories. President Hakainde Hichilema has been awarded an honorary Doctor of Philosophy in Effective Leadership by Zika University in recognition of his leadership and contribution to national development. The government has announced plans to strictly enforce the law against oil marketing companies, or MCs, that are holding on to petroleum products during this period of geopolitical developments in the Middle East. Masaiti District Education Standards Officer Deso Benjamin Chabu has reaffirmed the Ministry of Education's commitment to prioritizing inclusive education aimed at preparing learners for future opportunities regardless of their physical, mental or health conditions. FIFA has announced new measures for women's football requiring that teams must have at least one woman serving as a head coach or assistant coach.
The news, 88.5 Sun FM.
President Hakainde Hichilema has been awarded an honorary Doctor of Philosophy in Effective Leadership by Zika University in recognition of his leadership and contribution to national development. Speaking during the conferment ceremony, University Chancellor Dr. Tukia Mabula said the award acknowledges leadership anchored on accountability and responsible stewardship in governance. She noted that the president has steered the country through difficult economic periods characterized by high debts and inflation while maintaining a clear policy direction. Dr. Mabula explained that through targeted reforms and engagement with cooperating partners, Zambia is now recording signs of economic recovery, with the growth rising to about 5% and inflation easing to single digits. She also cited the significant increase in the Constituency Development Fund as CDF from 1.6 million kwacha to 40 million kwacha as a key indicator of the President's commitment to improving public service delivery.
By strengthening feeding programs in schools, your government has recognized that education begins not only with books and classrooms, but with nourishment and well-being. When a child is fed, concentration improves, attendance increases, performance strengthens. In this simple yet profound policy lies a strategic investment in the intellectual future of Zambia. It's an investment whose dividends will be measured in innovation, productivity, and national progress.
Meanwhile, President Hakainde Hichilema has emphasized the importance of resilience, urging young people to focus on academic excellence as a foundation for national development. He stressed that education remains the most powerful tool for empowering the next generation, adding that young people must dedicate themselves to learning in order to contribute meaningfully to the country's progress.
I want to encourage even young leaders, do not front fear in doing or making decisions, doing what is right or making decisions. Front a calculative mind, an analytical mind that looks at the pros and cons, but also understands that failure to take a move, a clear move, could cost the people that you lead a lot, especially young ones, women, vulnerable people. Let me say vulnerable people. So,
government has announced the plans to strictly enforce the law against all marketing companies or MCs that are holding on to fuel during this period of developments in the Middle East. Minister of Energy Makozo Chikote said government has repeatedly warned OMCs and those failing to adhere to regulations will now face legal action. He explained that the move is intended to curb irregularities in the fuel supply chain. Mr. Chikote further stated that the Energy Regulation Board, ERB, has the capacity to suspend operations of OMCs that do not comply with the law.
And we have given caution. And we are going to enforce the law accordingly. So, Honorable Member, you should not really worry. We are also aware, and we are doing everything possible to make sure that such kind of behavior is deterred from others to see what they are doing. You have really mentioned Total Energy. Total Energy are one of the big players, those who have got filling stations around the country. And they have already been engaged, for your own information, if I can just say that. But
Masaiti District Education Standards Officer Deso Benjamin Chabo has reaffirmed the Ministry of Education's commitment to prioritizing inclusive education aimed at preparing learners for future opportunities, regardless of their physical, mental, or health conditions. Speaking during the orientation training for school-based special education needs coordinators, SENCOs, and teachers at Masaiti Boarding School, Mr. Chabo explained that the competence-based curriculum, CBC, is tailored to individual learner needs. He urged the SENCOs to collaborate with head teachers, and parents to ensure appropriate interventions are put in place for learners with special education needs. He described the SENCOs as strategic drivers in identifying, supporting, and monitoring learners with special needs within schools. Mr. Chabo further advised parents not to hide children with different challenges at home, but to take them to school, stressing that inclusive education is not an option but a right for every learner. The Masaiti Deso observed that in the past, learners with special education needs were often excluded from mainstream education, but global and national developments have shifted focus towards inclusion, equity, and equal opportunity for all learners.
Distinguished participants, as you will explore during this training, special education has evolved significantly over time. Historically, learners with special education needs were often excluded from mainstream education systems. However, global and national developments have shifted focus towards inclusion, equity, and equal opportunity. The objective of special education today is not segregation, but support and inclusion, ensuring that every learner is given an opportunity to access quality education within a supportive environment.
Meanwhile, Mr. Chabo emphasized that the success of inclusive education depends on collaboration among stakeholders. He called on professionals at all levels in the education sector to provide effective monitoring, professional support, coordinate training, and ensure resources are available for proper implementation. He highlighted the importance of integrating life skills and health education into teaching, preparing learners for real-life challenges and nurturing children who are not only knowledgeable but also socially responsible, emotionally stable, and capable of making informed decisions. Mr. Chabu urged the teachers to take the early grade screening 2 administration seriously, describing it as a critical instrument for identifying learners who need additional support at an early age.
Equally important is the integration of life skills and health education in our teaching. Education goes beyond academic achievement. It must prepare learners for real-life challenges. As educators, we must nurture learners who are not only knowledgeable but also socially responsible, emotionally stable, and capable of making informed decisions about their health and well-being.
Government has disclosed that it spent 100 million kwacha in 2025 on the construction of drainages in Lusaka as part of efforts to address persistent flooding in the capital city. Acting leader of government business Ambrose Lufuma, speaking in Parliament, reported progress in the design, implementation and construction and improved drainages capable of channeling storm water in designated systems across parts of the city. Mr. Lufuma attributed flooding in Chawama constituencies Kuku, John Howard and Mississippi compounds to the areas being low-lying and receiving significant stormwater inflows from higher elevation zones, compounded by upstream dams discharging excess water during sustained rainfall. He added that blocked drainages and indiscriminate waste disposal have worsened the situation. He announced that government, through a multi-sectoral committee comprising the Ministry of Health, Lusaka City Council, and Lusaka District Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, has implemented urgent measures. These include the distribution of chlorine to 3,600 affected households, disinfestation of homes, sanitation facilities, and public spaces. Mr. Lufuma further disclosed that government is conducting ongoing water quality monitoring for both pathological and chemical testing, while appealing to the public to be responsible in solid waste management. Ndola Central Member of Parliament Frank Tayali, who is also Minister of Transport and Logistics, says this year's elections are expected to be the most peaceful ever held in Zambia. Speaking in an interview with the Sun FM TV, Mr. Tayali noted that President Hakainde Hichilema has consistently urged the citizens, especially young people, to ensure that elections remain peaceful so that every citizen can freely exercise their right to choose a leader. He explained that since the New Dawn administration came into power, by-elections held across the country have been peaceful and incident-free. Mr. Tayali assured citizens that the violence sometimes associated with elections occurred under the previous regime and should not happen again. He emphasized that elections should be a contest of ideas, not physical confrontation, and urged the political players and supporters to remain calm and respectful throughout the electoral process.
Party. Now, we are in a new dispensation. I guess we are not called New Dawn for nothing. A new dawn means that you are starting a new chapter. And I guess we shall walk the talk and basically ensure that this election that we are going to preside over shall be perhaps the most peaceful general election this country has ever seen. So to all citizens out there, please listen to your president. Let us conduct ourselves in a peaceful manner. When we compete in elections, we compete on ideas. We do not compete in terms of physicality. No, we have to espouse policies that would then attract the citizenry to actually take the time to go and queue up and actually cast their vote. So that will be a UPND legacy, peaceful.
Tonse Alliance President Brian Mundubile has been released on police bond after spending a night in detention following his arrest on charges related to alleged cyber offenses. Mr. Mundubile was arrested on Thursday, March 19, 2026 at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport and charged with aiding, abetting and counseling the commission of hate speech contrary to Section 55 as read with Section 65 of the Cybersecurity and Cybercrimes Act No. 2 of 2021. Police Deputy Public Relations Officer Chipo Kaitisha explained that between February 8, 2023 and January 31, 2025, the lawmaker allegedly acted in concert with another individual to support the operation of a Facebook page known as Munyaule Zambia. Ms. Kaitisha added that the Mporokoso MP is suspected of providing both content and financial assistance to Mr. Chanda Nonde, identified as the page's administrator. The page is alleged to have published malicious and hateful content targeting various individuals over a sustained period. She further stated that Mr. Mundubile was warned and cautioned in June 2025 before his eventual arrest and is expected to appear in court soon.
He is suspected of having aided and cancelled the operation of a Facebook page known as Munyaule Zambia by providing both content and financial support to Mr. Chanda Nonde, identified as the page's administrator. Alleged to have published malicious and hateful content targeting various individuals over a sustained period. The suspect was warned and cautioned in June 2025 and was only arrested yesterday, March 19, 2026 in Lusaka.
Kembe Member of Parliament, Princess Kasune, who also serves as Minister of Justice, has officially launched the school feeding program in Chibombo district with more than 230 schools set to benefit. Speaking during the launch at Mokoni Primary and Secondary School, Ms. Kasune urged learning institutions to support the program by establishing production units to grow vegetables and other crops, ensuring sustainability. She said the initiative aligns with President Hakainde Hichilema's vision of keeping learners in school by ensuring they are well fed. Ms. Kasune noted that the introduction of free education has led to a sharp rise in enrollment. At Mokoni Primary School, enrollment has grown from 250 learners in 2023 to 700 in 2026, while Mokoni Secondary School has increased from 450 learners in 2021 to 980 in 2026. She further disclosed that she has implemented additional developmental projects outside the Constituency Development Fund, including the construction of clinics and hospitals in partnership with a Fountain of Life on Africa. Meanwhile, Chibombo District Education Board Secretary Bishop Loputa announced that a 4.5 million kwacha has been released for the purchase of maize and beans to support feeding programs in over 230 schools during the first term. This is the news on Sun FM Radio and TV. Let's take a break.
Time is power. Our lives are powered by the sun. As the sun rises, so do we. It's time to power your life and say goodbye to blackouts with a new Topstar solar solution, the H50 hybrid system. Enjoy a safe and reliable solar solution at home or your business with the Topstar hybrid inverter, lithium battery, and 550-watt solar panels. Experience a peace of mind with reduced electricity bills, long warranty of up to 5 years with free installation. For more information, call or WhatsApp now on 0779 04 2000, 0779 04 2000, or visit our Facebook page at Topstar. Also, pay us a visit at our head office next to Arcade Shopping Mall. Topstar Solar. Power your life.
In sports news now, FIFA has announced new measures for women's football requiring that teams must have at least one woman serving as a head coach or assistant coach. The new regulations approved this week by the FIFA Council are aimed at improving the representation of women in coaching roles over the long term. From this year onwards, any team participating in FIFA women's competitions must ensure that their head coach and or at least one assistant coach is female. The changes apply to all youth and senior tournaments, national team competitions, and club competitions. They are expected to be implemented at the Under-20 and Under-17 tournaments later this year, ahead of the Women's World Cup in Brazil in 2027 and the second edition of the Women's Champions Cup. In addition, the regulations stipulate that at least one member of the medical staff must be female and at least two officials seated on the team bench must be women. FIFA hopes that these changes, alongside existing programs such as the Coaching Scholarship Program and the Elite Performance Mentoring Program, will help address the gender imbalance in technical roles. That will do for the news for now, but before we go, a recap on the headlines. President Hakainde Hichilema has been awarded an honorary Doctor of Philosophy in Effective Leadership by Zika University in recognition of his leadership and contribution to national development. Government has announced the plans to strictly enforce the law against oil marketing companies that are holding on to petroleum products during this period of geopolitical developments in the Middle East. Masaiti District Education Standards Officer Deso Benjamin Chabo has reaffirmed the Ministry of Education's commitment to prioritizing inclusive education aimed at preparing learners for future opportunities, regardless of their physical, mental, or health conditions. FIFA has announced new measures for women's football requiring that teams must have at least one woman serving as head coach or assistant coach. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. My name is Imelda Chukwati. Stay tuned to Sun FM Radio and TV. God bless.
Sun FM.
We came, we saw, we conquered, and we can.